All right, time for him to grid. All right, up front will be Kevin Bruner and Gerald Poole on the front row, followed by Bradley Berry and Joe Campbell in the second row. Sean Andrews rounding out the field. And this ought to make for an interesting battle here. 5 guys, pretty equal speed out there. Winning here at the Daytona Road Course, though, not always about who has the fastest car, always about who manages their car the best, and it remains the most consistent. There they go as they do their pace lap. One BMW, 4 Porsches. Be interesting to see the balance between them. Will that BMW be able to outrun those Porsches? Usually, at least in GT3s and GTEs, consistently, the BMWs have a little bit more power up off the turns. The Porsches are much more nimble through the technical sections, so that could come into play here as well. Plus, the BMW is a bit bigger, and these Porsches can draft behind it really, really well. It punches a bigger hole in the air. Quick look at the track map as we have a 12-turn course down the front straightaway through one, a small S section. Then you have the horseshoe, the International Horseshoe, down through the kink, the second horseshoe, down around, back up into the turn 1 banking, or NASCAR 1, and then down the back straightaway they'll go, down through the bus stop, and then through NASCAR 3 and 4 back to the start-finish line. Most of these guys running the lap in about 1:57. If you have a moment and you can, please donate at the link in the chat. We would really appreciate it. Would be ecstatic to get over $1,000 tonight, as we are at $935 coming into the race. Through the bus stop they go. Pace car will drop off out of turn number 4. Little blink out of, looks like out of Sean. Hopefully not a concern. We had one driver that apparently that lost connection during practice. He got it squared away for qualifying and haven't seen a problem since. Hopefully that continues. Lap 14 will be a competition caution. And we'll have to see with the 50% fuel load, can they make it to lap 14? Strategy will be a big factor here tonight as the pace car dives on in. They get ready. Turn 1, lap 1 is where things get interesting. Green flag is in the air. Gerald Poole gets a launch in the Porsche. BMW Kevin Bruner takes a minute to get up to speed, and Gerald Poole will be the first one through turn 1. The BMW Kevin Bruner shifts his line just a little bit to get a better run out of turn 1. And it looks like Bradley Berry's making a move on the high side out of 1. He's now up to 3rd. Sean Andrews is now looking for Bradley Berry and Joe. We've got a car around. That's Joe Campbell. see if we can see what happened. There's Joe in the black and orange car. And, oh, it looks like Bradley Berry just got the back bumper just a hair. Fortunately, the lap 14 caution should pull him back up, but Gerald Poole and Kevin Bruner have kind of checked out. Now's going to be the tail. Those two swapped the top spot in practice. They are extremely close on pace. Bradley Berry's had an incident. And gets back on the throttle just a little too hard. You want to carry as much momentum as possible when you're getting back up on the banking, but you have to be very careful because it's very slick right through that section. Kevin Bruner all over the back bumper of Gerald Poole. Now's when we see, does the BMW have the power to pull up and pass the Porsche here? A little further back, Sean Andrews currently in third. Joe Campbell running in fourth. Bradley Berry has fallen way back in fifth place. And it does look like Bradley got a little bit of damage from the incident with Joe Campbell as Kevin Bruner starts looking to the high side off into turn one. Doesn't carry the momentum through yet. They know they've got a long way to go. They have to pace themselves. Plus, they have to be very careful, take care of the tires. A lot of these guys, when they stop for fuel, are not going to take fresh tires. Gerald Poole continuing to lead. And look at this. Sean Andrew navigated through the chaos on the first lap up to third, and he is gaining on these two. Currently about 2.5 seconds back, but he has been slowly gaining on him since he cleared the chaos in front of him. Joe Campbell now 6.7 seconds back from the leader. Bradley Berry another 6.8 seconds back. And Gerald Thanos Poole out front. Looks like Bruner might actually be losing a little bit of ground, but Sean Andrews is really coming on strong. Last time by, Bruner and Poole had almost identical laps. I imagine we're going to see a lot of back and forth from those two. And once they have the competition caution, the restart will be single file. That's going to make things really, really interesting. When they go off into turn one, how much space do they give each other? Sean Andrews has cut down. He is now 1.9 seconds back from Kevin Bruner. Sean might be the fastest one on track. Gerald Poole has opened up a 0.5 second lead and just ran his fastest lap of the race. He was 0.6 of a second faster than Bruner. And Sean Andrews was over 0.5 second faster than the leader last time by. He is pouring it on here. Let's take a ride. As he comes through the International Horseshoe, we're going to hop in the car and take a lap with him. As he drives down towards the kink, just clipping the rumble strips there. And it looks like that Porsche can really point and get a little bit earlier turn in through that second horseshoe. Back out onto NASCAR 1. Has to be careful getting back up to speed. We saw the issue with Bradley Berry earlier. And he is really coming on strong. He is now 1.3 seconds back. He's not far from having the draft off the two cars in front of him. It also looks like Poole has slowed down just a little bit as Kevin Bruner is now back within 0.5 second of him. Down watching the signs, gets to the light, gets on the brakes, down through the bus stop. Have to be careful not to clip too much through there and not get a slowdown penalty. Up through 3. And let's see, I do believe Sean Andrews will have an even faster lap this time. We'll have to wait till he crosses the start-finish line. Down the front straightaway. The two cars in front have an advantage being in the draft together, but I don't think it's helping them as much as they'd like, as Sean Andrews breaks down into one and gains a lot of time through turn one. Seems like Sean Andrews is picking up a ton of time through the infield section. He's braking later into one than everybody else. A little bit of a blink, and now back through the International Horseshoe. And he is right there now. He has regained the lead pack. We knew this race was going to end up being tight and close the whole time. Oh! A little wiggle out of Kevin Bruner. Looked like he got too deep into the corner, had to get on the brakes again, and lost the back end briefly. Manages to save it. Andrews manages to stay off the back bumper. Gerald Poole takes advantage. He's opening up a lead again. Joe Campbell, who is 8 seconds back right now, he actually ran a faster lap than the leader last time by. Sean Andrews seems to have settled into third. We'll see if he makes a move through the bus stop. Back through 3 and 4. Sean Andrews not making a move yet. You got to wonder, is he going to sit there in the draft and save a little fuel? Back down through the front straightaway. And Kevin Bruner keeps looking like he's setting up for a move into one. That might be an intimidation move there, trying to get Gerald Poole to make a mistake. Gerald Poole a little wide through the horseshoe, trying to carry more momentum up off the turn. Sean Andrews still staying within about a second of the two lead cars. Let's see what it looks like inside Bruner's car real quick. You can see that BMW, a slightly different dashboard. And interested to see, this is the legacy version of Daytona Road, more accurate to what John Paul Jr. ran on, and a little bit bumpier than what everybody ran. Oh, here goes Bruner to the inside, down into the bus stop. And looks like Gerald Poole gets on the brakes a little sooner, and Kevin Bruner to the lead on lap 5. Gerald Poole in second. Sean Andrews currently in third. Now we've seen Sean Andrews has been the fastest car on track. He's the only driver to break 157 with his fast lap of a 156.94. And it looks like Sean Andrews might be looking to the inside into turn 1, but Gerald Poole cuts the runoff. And Sean Andrews having to get out of the gas just a little bit. Joe Campbell, remember, he was 8 seconds back from this battle. This time by, he gained 1.5 seconds. Bradley Berry is back 19 seconds behind, 20 seconds behind the leader, just waiting for that competition caution. Joe Campbell, though, he is really starting to pour it on. In fact, last time by, he was a second faster than the top 3 cars. Kevin Bruner currently out front. Gerald Poole in second. We knew that this was going to be a close race. I suspect this is what we're going to see the whole time, except once Joe Campbell catches back up to this field, and make no mistake, Joe Campbell is catching up. He gained a quarter of a second on the another quarter of a second on the last lap. He is gaining on them quickly. Actually, last time by, he was 1 second faster than Kevin Bruner and a second and a half faster than Sean Andrews. Let's see what the times are as they come by this time. Down the front straightaway they go. And let's see, this time last time by, Kevin Bruner was the fastest. No, I'm mistaken, sorry. Sean Andrews was the fastest by 2/100ths of a second over Gerald Poole. Looks like Joe Campbell lost a little bit on that lap. As they go a little bit, they're pushing that International Horseshoe really hard, as all three of the Porsches go, or both of the Porsches and the BMW go really wide that time through there. Now this is where we've seen Kevin Bruner struggle. A couple of times he gets through perfectly this time. But Gerald Poole and Sean Andrews staying on the back bumper. Joe Campbell still gaining a little bit. He lost a little bit on the last lap, but he's starting to gain on him again. Appears that Joe Campbell might actually be faster than the three lead cars through the infield section. And I'm wondering what might be going on with Sean Andrews. He gains and stays right on the back bumper of these guys, but after he comes off the infield section, he loses a little bit of ground. Suddenly, he is right back to their back bumper through the bus stop there. I'm wondering if he is trying to lay back, find the perfect draft range so that he can pull up and make a pass on both cars at once. Gerald Poole on the back bumper. He led the first 4 laps. Kevin Bruner took the lead on lap 5. Is Gerald Poole trying to get it back here? And it looks like Bruner is taking a much shallower entry into turn 1. He goes really wide off of turn 1. Up through the S's though, he actually pulls away just a little bit. Last time by, Joe Campbell gained another quarter of a second. Remember, 2 laps ago, he had lost a little bit of ground, dropped back to almost 6.5 seconds back. Now it's 6.1. As long as these 3 continue to battle, Joe Campbell will be catching them. Bradley Berry still about 20 seconds back. He is not losing a lot of time here, but he is not able to catch back up, at least for the moment. And he does not have the advantage of the draft that those front 3 cars do right now. Sean Andrews losing a little bit of ground now. He's 1.5 seconds back as they go through the bus stop. Lost a little bit more time coming up onto the track than he did in the previous laps. Meanwhile, Bruner continuing to lead. as they start lap 9. They have 5 more laps till the competition caution. If at any point tonight they're going to take tires, it will be under the caution, because after that they will go the remaining 28 laps on the same set of tires. They will have to stop probably once in that time frame. And you have to wonder, as it's coming down to the time for the caution, will anybody try and pit one lap before the caution, get tires and fuel, and put themselves in the lead for the restart? Joe Campbell just ran the fastest lap of the race. And it was by a lot. Previously, it was Shawn Andrews at a 156.94. Joe Campbell just ran a 156.57, and he closed the gap on Shawn Andrews by over a second. Joe Campbell is definitely coming for him as Gerald Poole makes a pass down the back straightaway. Can he make it stick? The BMW of Kevin Bruner on the high side into the bus stop. Are they going to go side by side into the bus stop? This never goes well. Bruner backs out. I don't think Gerald Poole had any intentions of backing out there. The way he drove into that corner, he was going to send it regardless. Smart move by Kevin Bruner, but he loses a little bit of ground here. Great defensive move by Gerald Poole, just staying with it, setting up for his line. Hey, good evening, George. Gerald Poole back in the lead on lap 10. Looking to see if Joe Campbell... Doing the math on it, last time by, Joe Campbell was almost 2 seconds of a lap faster than Shawn Andrews. He is definitely gaining on the leaders. After that lap 1 incident, and going back, he was just over 8 seconds behind. He is now 4.25 seconds back from the lead group. There he's even in their mirror. If I'm Gerald Poole, Kevin Bruner, and Shawn Andrews, I'm really, really worried right now about what happens after the caution. And again, Gerald Poole driving that John Paul Jr. Huntington's Disease Memorial paint scheme. And we would not have done all of this. This is all on him. He made all of this happen, helped with getting all the prizes together, helped with all the fundraising. Over $800 in the last 3 weeks for the charity via their GoFundMe. The link is in the chat for both Facebook and Twitch. If you can donate, please do. We want to try and get over $1,000 by tonight. We're at $935 coming into the race. And please hit, oh, wait a minute. We just got another donation of $20, so $955 now. Thank you to whoever that was that donated. We really appreciate it. $45 to go to hit the goal for tonight. And if you get an opportunity, definitely check out the John Paul Jr. Huntington's Disease Foundation. That charity is doing a lot of great stuff for a disease that impacts a small number of people, and diseases like that that impact a small number of people don't get the attention that they need as Bruner goes wide out of the International Horseshoe. So this is a great charity doing a lot of great work for what is a hereditary disease. Impacts over 200,000 people a year, but it, like we said, it's genetic. If you have a parent... Oh, we're going to have a pass for second place. Shawn Andrews looking to the inside on Bruner. If you have a parent that has it, you're 50% more likely to get it genetically, and it is a devastating disease. And another update. I scarcely believe this because those three cars up front have been nose to tail. They have not been running slow laps. In fact, last time by was Sean Andrews' fastest lap. Last time by was Kevin Bruner's fastest lap of the race. Last time by was Gerald Poole's fastest lap of the race. Joe Campbell was even faster than all three of them. He just set the fastest lap of the race, and it was 0.2 of a second faster than everybody else. Once we hit that caution in just a couple of laps, these guys really ought to be worried about Joe Campbell. Gerald Poole pulling away. And I haven't talked about him since early on when he lost a little bit of ground, but Bradley Berry is running lap times consistent with the leaders. I think once he gets back up in the draft after the caution, I think it's going to be a 5-car battle to the end. Thanos out in front, Sean Andrews second, Kevin Bruner third, and look, Joe Campbell has whittled down an 8-second deficit. It is now down to 1.1 seconds. I think these top three are in a little bit of trouble. And Gerald Poole out front, Sean Andrews second, Kevin Bruner is third, and Joe Campbell is flying in fourth. Loses a little bit of ground on these long straightaways without the help of the draft, but he is making up for it through the infield. He picks up so much time on these guys. We'll have to talk to Joe in a little bit if we can. But I'm willing to bet he drove a Porsche GT3 at the 24 Hours of Daytona. He just knows where to pick up speed. He has not made a mistake yet. He got turned on that first lap, but a mistake of his own has not happened yet. He's been perfect. Bruner now in third, Gerald Poole in back to second, Sean Andrews to the lead for the first time, and Joe Campbell just ran another fastest lap, 1:55.68, and takes third place from Bruner through turn one. What a move. Gerald Poole now in second, Sean Andrews in third. Bradley Berry's times are coming down too. Let's take a quick look and see if the track temperature has come down 5 degrees since the start. That explains the increasing speeds. As the track and air temperature come down, the car goes faster, has a little bit more grip. But that does not explain Joe Campbell's charge. That's an amazing drive out of Joe Campbell. Last lap, he was a full 2 seconds faster than Gerald Thanos Poole. Gerald ran a 1:57.94. Joe ran a 1:55.68. Sean Andrews out front. His fastest lap has been a 1:56.71. Joe Campbell is actually the only driver to break the 1:56 mark so far. And you got to wonder, with temperatures coming down as time goes on, how long before all of them are in the 155s and Joe's down in the 154s. These are almost GT3 lap times that these guys are running. All right, Gerald Poole in second place will be throwing the caution here shortly. probably at the end of this lap, I believe. Bruner now in fourth has lost a little bit of ground to the lead pack after leading early in this race. And Bradley Berry continues trying to make up some ground here. He is not exactly going slow. There is the competition caution with Sean Andrews in the lead. Gerald Poole in second. Joe Campbell is third. Kevin Bruner is fourth. Bradley Berry is fifth. And what a run it is. What a run Joe Campbell has had. Now the drivers will look for the pace car, and then we'll get to see everybody on pit road. The question now, who gets tires, who does not? And can they go the distance from here without taking fuel? Remember, a 50% fuel load, so 20, less than 28 laps, they might actually be able to go the distance. Going to be an interesting strategy play. And in all future endurance events, I will make sure that Joe Campbell is on my team. All of these guys obviously extremely fast here tonight, but Joe Campbell is a step above. Sean Andrews looking for the pace car here. Should find it somewhere in the infield. Looking to see if I can see where the pace car is. The pace car is in the horseshoe, so Sean Andrews will catch up to it here in just a moment. The field will pack back up, and they will hit pit road, get the one caution, possibly one stop underway, and once he catches up, we're going to try and get a word with Bradley Berry. And possibly Gerald Thanos Poole as well. Let's see if we can get a quick word with Bradley Berry. Hey Bradley, it's Doug. You got me?
Yeah.
Hey, a rough start to this one, but your lap times have been pretty consistent and pretty close to what the leaders are. So once you're back up in the field, got the draft, are you going to be able to give these boys a run for their money?
I hope so. I mean, had that rough little first turn right there, and almost got rear-ended and spun him, and then coming onto the Daytona 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I think I found a banana peel, and that was it.
You know, I thought I saw a couple of the guys throwing banana peels out of the car going through there, so that might have been the case.
That's probably what it was.
They knew you were going to be fast. They didn't want to have to compete with you.
There you go.
All right, man. Well, good luck, and hopefully you can get up there and get the win tonight, buddy.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. That was Bradley Berry. Now has the opportunity to get back into the pack and see if he can get that Jägermeister car to victory lane. He does have some damage on the front end, and he'll have to get that repaired. Speaking of, let's see if we can look at Joe Campbell. I don't believe I saw any damage in his car earlier after getting rear-ended. Let's take a look. Nope, no damage. No damage to the back of his Porsche. So all 5 cars headed to pit road. Now we'll watch closely and see who changes tires. Some of these guys, having ran endurance races, they know they can stretch that tire much further than the fuel. Looking at Sean Andrews there, it looks like he is getting... Trying to see if we can get a better view of these pit stops. And it looks like the BMW of Kevin Bruner is up. He is getting tires. It looks like everybody is getting tires on this stop, so expect everybody to come out on 4 fresh tires. Sean Andrews is the first one off pit road. Gerald Poole second. Kevin Bruner third. Joe Campbell fourth. Bradley Berry fifth. Hey, Gerald, it's Doug. You got me?
10-4?
Hey, so you get back off pit road pretty quickly, but I have to ask, can you make it from here on fuel?
No, there's going to be a stop somewhere along the way.
Well, it's been an interesting race, and the top 3 spots have been swapping positions quite a bit throughout the first part of this, but there's one car that came flying up behind you guys there at the end of the run. Are you a little bit worried about Joe right now?
Yeah, I'm always worried about Joe.
Well, it looks like he's got a fast car. It looks like Bruner might have just hit the wall coming through the horseshoe, too.
Yeah, I'm listening to it on the other radio here, see what happened. I think I got a little wide, and he followed me.
Well, you'll be restarting in second. You got your hands full with some really fast cars. Good luck, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see. It looks like Bruner did have to tow to pit road. We'll see if the caution is extended and they get him back to the lead lap. It is a long tow to pit road, especially from where he was. So hopefully he'll be able to get back out here and compete. So Sean Andrews will be starting first, Gerald Poole second, Joe Campbell third, Bradley Berry is fourth. Let's see if we can see what happened to Bruner. And looks like he just missed the turn into the horseshoe. Looked like Gerald did go a little bit wide on his time through the infield, but these guys have got to get the cold tires warmed up here too. A lot of these drivers will be riding their brakes, trying to build up as much heat in the brakes and the tires as is possible. Pace car leading him around. Now this battle is going to get really interesting. Bradley Berry was gaining a little bit of ground on the leaders. He now has his car fixed, and he is going to be up to full speed and still have the draft. Joe Campbell, who came from an 8-second deficit to being right on the back bumper of everybody, he is going to have an opportunity here to get to the front. Gerald Thanos Poole in second, who led early and led the entire first 5 laps, is now in second place. And Sean Andrews, who was back and forth throughout the top 3, now up in the lead. Also worth noting, let's take a quick look. Track temperature still 102, air temperature still about 78 degrees. Expect those temperatures to come down just a little bit more, maybe a couple degrees as the race goes on. And that could come into play as well with the as time goes on and some shadows get longer across the infield. That'll help cool off that infield track. And that is definitely not what the other drivers really need, as right now Joe Campbell has been the fastest through there. As we mentioned, single file restart. All right, down through the bus stop. Remember, that first lap on cold tires for everybody. Bruner's still on pit road. He has an opportunity, hopefully, to get off pit road before the other drivers get there, maintain the lead lap. He could still pick up some positions as they come out of turns 3 and 4. Kevin Bruner is off pit road. He has an opportunity here. He'll get a little bit ahead. Pace car is in. Green flag is back in the air. Sean Andrews down and away. Gerald Poole, Joe Campbell, Bradley Berry, and Kevin Bruner through the infield in 5th. Everybody trying to get through one. And Joe Campbell shoots to the inside on Gerald Poole through turn 1. He takes 3rd. And here comes Bradley Berry making a move to the inside. Bradley Berry couldn't quite get there, and Joe Campbell is a man on a mission. He is already setting up for a pass around Sean Andrews. Down through the second horseshoe. Front 4 still easily in drafting range as they head for NASCAR 1. And now the question becomes where... Oh, Joe Campbell gets really loose, getting back on the throttle. Loses a little bit of ground to Sean Andrews. He keeps the car going straight. Sean Andrews down on the apron trying to pick up as much speed as possible and break the draft here. Interesting move. Haven't seen that one done in a while. Especially this early in a run. He is doing anything he can to keep Joe Campbell behind him. Through the bus stop, Joe Campbell still gaining. Gerald Poole and Bradley Berry still right there. Bruner headed off into turn number 1. If anything goes wrong with any of these drivers, Bruner's going to have a real opportunity here. And down the front straightaway, it's going to be Joe Campbell to the lead with 25 laps to go, 24 laps to go. Off into turn 1, Gerald Poole looking to the inside for second plate. And Joe Campbell already starting to pull away just a little bit. Actually, not even just a little bit. Gerald Poole clearing in second, trying to stay with Joe Campbell here, but Joe just is flying. We saw how fast he was coming back up to the top 3, and now we're about to see how fast he is. Goes a little bit wider as he comes up onto the banking this time, making sure he doesn't get the car loose. Gerald Poole stays low, trying to shorten the distance. Joe Campbell is just so quick. He was gaining all sorts of time. Sean Andrews has had an incident. Coming through the second horseshoe. He's got Bruner right behind it. Oh, his right side tire's got the grass and he went around. He got back going the right way. He is now 10 seconds back. Gerald Poole on the high banked portions and the high speed portion seems to be gaining on Campbell, but Campbell is just dominant through the infield. There's only a handful of drivers that I have seen that we've broadcast here that are just so dominant through the infield like Joe Campbell is here tonight. Let's see if we can take a look at some of his speeds here. .120 miles an hour coming down into the second horseshoe. Let's see how much speed he carries. Through there, he starts accelerating. 100 miles an hour before he gets back on the brakes. Now up onto the high bank portion of the track. Very quickly back up to speed. .140 and climbing very quickly. 150. And back on the brakes, down through the bus stop. Gerald Poole is managing to hang with him at the moment. Up on the banking though, as they climb back up to speed, we'll see how much speed he gets going down into turn number 1. .155 miles an hour. Gerald Poole might be pulling a little bit more in the draft. 164, 165. Gerald Poole is pulling a little bit more speed. That just shows you the difference that it makes to have that draft here. Some road courses, not as big a deal. Here, with the high bank portions of the track, it is a huge, huge benefit to be in the draft. Last time by, Gerald Poole managing to match Joe's speed. Bradley Berry also matching that speed. Sean Andrews trying to work his way back up. And Bruner also keeping a pretty close, keeping close to the rest of the field's pace, just quite a ways behind. Now Joe Campbell has another wiggle as he sets up to come up onto the banking. It looks like that might be the only place that Joe Campbell is struggling tonight, as we've seen that a couple of times since the restart. Bradley Berry back in third, losing a little bit of ground here. Sean Andrews in fourth. Looks like Sean might have had some problems coming out of the horseshoe himself. Fifth place is Kevin Bruner. Joe Campbell and Gerald Poole are starting to pull away from third place Bradley Berry now. It is about 2.6 seconds back to Bradley Berry. Not a huge difference. We've seen Joe Campbell come back from further. And is Gerald Poole setting up for a... Not yet. He looked to the high side. He takes turn one, enters it really wide. It seemed like Joe Campbell really has a shallow entry into turn one. But here is the portion of the track where Joe Campbell is just so much faster than everybody else. Except the last few laps, Gerald Poole has found something. He is staying with him. Hey, good evening, Striker. Gerald Poole currently in second, Bradley Berry in third. The rest of the field stretching out. Fourth place, Sean Andrews now 37 seconds back after the incident on the restart. Kevin Bruner after the incident on the pace lap, 145 back, almost a full lap down. He is actually picking up a lot of speed, just trying to make up some ground here. We saw Joe Campbell make up a second a lap there pretty consistently for about 8 laps to get back up to the leaders. Makes you wonder how much Kevin Bruner could make up here. And Joe Campbell is actually not running anywhere close to his fastest laps. We'll have to wait and see. And don't forget, there is still one more pit stop all these drivers will need to take. Expect to see that around 14, 15 laps to go. Joe Campbell and Gerald Poole keep matching each other turn for turn, and every once in a while it looks like Gerald Poole is thinking about setting up for a pass. He doesn't make a move though. As long as he can stay in the draft, he can easily stay with him and wait for Joe to make a mistake. But Joe Campbell has only made 2 mistakes tonight, and both of them in the section they're going through right now. Joe back to taking that corner extra wide to make sure he does not slip. And remember, that's where Bradley Berry said somebody had thrown out a banana peel. So there's banana peels on the track as you come back out on the NASCAR 1. That could be part of Joe Campbell's problem. Gerald Poole in second. It looked like he was trying to get the run through the bus stop. Couldn't get enough momentum. Checking on Sean Andrews to see if he's gaining any ground back on Bradley Berry yet. Not quite yet. Bradley Berry also, now having lost the draft, is back in third and really struggling to catch back up. But I think most of us would. Oh, Gerald Poole's looking to the high side. Can he make a move up top through turn 1? Or can he set up and make a crossover move to the bottom here? Not enough momentum yet. 19 laps to go. Gerald Poole is starting to look for the move here. And these two guys are just making it look so easy, but you know they've got their hands full in those cars. And we have actually not ridden around, so when Joe Campbell comes back, we'll ride around with him this time. We haven't ridden around with him yet tonight. See if we can see how and where he is so much faster than everybody else. Don't forget, tomorrow night, if you're on iRacing, you can join the HTSAI Friday Fun League. We are going to be doing some fun races, no points, no feelings, just having a good time on a Friday night. Immediately after that, I will be a part of the Tyler Daniels Racing grudge match for this week. And looking forward to being a part of that. It'll be Street Stocks at Charlotte. So if you liked the X-Cal race this week, well, you can see some in-car of the same type thing. Saturday night, I'll be in-car for the BRR Truck Series and GTE Series. Sunday night, we'll be back broadcasting with the BRR Cup Series, followed by the Fast and Fun ARCA Series. Monday night, we have the new Jones BS League, and Tuesday night, we will be off this week. All right, coming down, Joe Campbell in the lead. Let's ride along with Joe and see if we can figure out how he is so much faster than everybody else. He does take that shallower entry into turn one. Cuts really close to the tires there. Like dangerously close to the tires there. Down through the International Horseshoe. Back on the throttle. Little twitch out of the back end there. Hey, airplane landing in the background. Down through the kink, doesn't even let up through there. That's got to be helping him. Most drivers will let up just a little bit through the kink because the bump there unsettles the car so much. Hanging really close on the inside to the apex through the other horseshoe and then down onto the banking, the NASCAR 1. This is the only place we've seen Joe make a mistake here tonight. We've only seen it twice. Didn't see it this time, as he is fully back up to speed and back out on the banking. Down right on the bottom. Then out to the wall as he gets to the back straightaway. Brakes at the light post, downshift into the bus stop. One left, two rights, and another left, making sure he doesn't cut the course, and back up onto the banking for NASCAR 3 and 4. Oh, Striker, which team are you on? Down the front straightaway and back. It just seems like he just holds onto the car so much better through the infield, but Gerald Poole has stayed with him step for step. I am Team Brendan. Joe Campbell out front, and he has not been able to pull away from Gerald Poole this entire run. You got to give it up to Gerald Poole, as he has had a consistent run. He has managed to stay with him, and considering Joe Campbell's first run, Gerald Poole has done an amazing job. Worth mentioning, Bradley Berry was over 10 seconds behind just a few laps ago. He has now started to regain on the leaders, now back down to 7.4. Looks like Sean Andrews has the handling or something has gone away on that car. He has lost a lot of time. Meanwhile, Kevin Bruner, who had the issue, barely got out and managing to stay on the lead lap, is now actually gaining on Andrews. Checking the times, Kevin Bruner's actually a hair faster than Bradley Berry and has been several seconds a lap faster than Sean Andrews the last few laps. And you have to wonder, with 17 laps to go, does that give Bruner enough time to catch Andrews? To get to Bradley Berry would be a tall feat, but he might actually be able to catch back up to Sean Andrews. I don't think anybody is going to catch these two, though. Kevin Bruner is actually, these guys are going so fast. Kevin Bruner's about to be lapped. He has managed to hold on to the lead lap since that caution, the incident on the pace lap after the pit stops. He has managed to hold on to the lead lap this whole time, despite coming out of pit road as these guys were getting the green flag. And they are coming, but that'll give him a little bit of an advantage. He will be able to use the draft off these two drivers and pick up some speed. He might actually be able, with a little help, to catch Sean Andrews. But now Joe Campbell and Gerald Poole have to negotiate the lap car of Kevin Bruner. They come back up onto the banking with 16 laps to go. And one more pit stop. They should be able to pit on the next lap and go the distance. We'll have to wait and see. Some of these guys will stretch that mileage and go so they can have the shortest possible pit. Don't expect anybody to take tires here. Off into the bus stop. Joe Campbell picks up a lot of ground through the bus stop on Kevin Bruner. Bruner up to the high side. He sees the blue and yellow flag, moves up and lets everybody by. You know, pits for these first two are going to stay nose to tail for the rest of the race. But these three in the back, Bradley Berry, Sean Andrews, Kevin Bruner, pit strategy could come into play big time for these three drivers. And it looks like the entire field is actually slowing down just a little bit. That first run we were seeing 155s, 156. Nobody has cracked 157 since the restart. Track temperature still 102 degrees. Air temperature still 78 degrees. No change in the wind. All five drivers on fresh tires, but you got to think that a couple of these guys might be saving just a little bit. 15 laps to go. Hope so, Striker, but I honestly have to say I hope you finish behind me, buddy. It's been a while since I've driven a street stock, though, so you might be able to beat me pretty easily. Joe Campbell out front. Will he come to pit road this time? And then the question becomes, does Gerald Poole pit at the same time? They would benefit, both of them would benefit from having the draft, but Kevin Bruner had an incident. Kevin coming down through the bus stop. He has been pushing it hard, and it looks like he just overshot entry. Gets the car back going, though. No pit stop yet. 14 laps to go. Everybody can make it from here on fuel. Joe Campbell out front. Gerald Poole still in second. These two have matched each other step for step since the restart. Bradley Berry in third, now 15 seconds back. He's lost quite a bit of time in the last few laps. Sean Andrews and Kevin Bruner both really seem to have lost some time. And is Joe Campbell starting to pull away? Did he just crank it up a notch? Last time by, he was a quarter second faster than Gerald Poole. And now there is almost a second between them. Can Gerald make up any ground through the bus stop here? He picks up a bit. He sends it hard through the bus stop. Joe Campbell being a little bit more conservative through the bus stop allows Gerald Poole to regain some ground here. But this has been the section where Gerald Poole has been the fastest. The infield is where Joe has been the fastest, and that's what it comes down to. Is it's going to come down to possibly to a last lap battle between these two drivers. Looking to see where Sean Andrews and Kevin Bruner are, as Kevin Bruner was gaining a little ground on Sean Andrews. With a little bit of pit strategy, he can pull up and gain on him. Bradley Berry has come to pit road. He is the first one in for the final pit stop. Do not expect to see him take tires, just fuel. Watching his pit stop time closely here. He could get a fast pit stop, make up some ground here. Or does he take 4 tires and try and hope for the best on a fresh set of tires? And it does look like Bradley Berry is taking tires this time. Bit surprised. I expected to only see tires under caution tonight. Gerald Poole still right on the back bumper. And starting to look to the inside. Is he going to make a move down into the bus stop? Not yet. But that is the section every time through here. Gerald Poole has been faster through the back straightaway and the bus stop than Joe Campbell. Joe Campbell consistently faster in the infield. And it looks like Joe Campbell may be headed to pit road this time. Gerald Poole is coming to pit road as well. Bradley Berry has an opportunity now to pick up a lot of ground. It looks like he did take 4 tires. Kevin Bruner has not pit since the caution. Sean Andrews now on pit road. Bradley Berry coming down the back straightaway. If he can hustle and if these other 2 drivers have any kind of delay on pit road, Gerald Poole is the first one back up off of pit road. Joe Campbell still on pit road. Did Joe Campbell get caught speeding on pit road? He is losing a ton of time here. Hey, good evening, Becky. I'm thinking Joe Campbell got a penalty on pit road. He is stuck. Gerald Poole is pulling away. And the gap is increasing as Bradley Berry now to second. Joe Campbell now on his way out of pit road in third. Bradley Berry advances to second place. Joe Campbell dropping back into third now. And Gerald Poole has checked out due to Joe Campbell's penalty. Gerald Poole now has a 28-second lead. Now, we've seen Joe Campbell make up an 8-second deficit in just a matter of 8 to 10 laps. I don't think he can make up a 39-second lead, or 39-second deficit. He might be able to catch Bradley Berry and take second place here, as Bradley Berry is just 11 seconds ahead. Unless Gerald Poole makes a mistake here tonight, he has got this one in the bag with 12 laps to go. And Bradley Berry, just through sheer consistency, has made his way back up into second. He is 27.9 seconds behind the leader. And now we watch as Joe Campbell tries to mount another charge towards the front. Gerald Poole could slow down here to ensure his consistency and still pull off the win. But knowing Gerald, we're probably going to see some of his fastest laps here. What a turn of events. Joe Campbell, the only driver who's broken the 156 mark tonight. His fastest lap, a 155.68. The next fastest was Gerald Poole with a 156.1. Over half a second faster when he was marching back up to the leaders during the first segment. Due to a pit road penalty, now all the way back to third, 38 seconds behind the leader, but he is just 10.5 seconds behind second place Bradley Berry, and we know he can make up an 8-second deficit. I'm willing to bet he can get himself back to second place. Meanwhile, Gerald Poole is way out front. And if you're Bradley Berry, you're probably watching your mirror pretty closely right about now. Kevin Bruner, Sean Andrews, both still on pit road. Looks like Sean Andrews may be done. Bruner is up getting 4 tires and fuel. Doing another quick check here to see, as I mentioned, we were shooting for having raised over $1,000 tonight. We hit $955 earlier in the race. The links are in the chat. If you can donate, please do. Still at $955 so far. Bradley Berry in second place has caught up to Kevin Bruner, who is finally up off of pit road, now in fourth place. That might give Bradley Berry a little bit of help here. A little bit of drafting help might help keep Joe Campbell behind him. Looks like Bruner's going to hop to the high side, though. Lets Bradley Berry by easily. We'll see, does he drop back down? And down the front straightaway he goes. Be 9 laps to go for Gerald Poole. He now has a 26-second lead over Bradley Berry. It looks like Bradley Berry has picked up the pace a little bit, and Gerald Poole driving just a little bit more conservatively now. Joe Campbell 8.8 seconds back from Bradley Berry as well. He continues marching his way forward in 9 laps. Can he make up the difference? This time by Joe Campbell was a second and a half faster than second place Bradley Berry, 3 seconds faster than Gerald Thanos Poole. Nine laps to go. Anything goes wrong for Gerald Poole, and Joe Campbell is back in this fight. Joe Campbell just does not seem phased at all if he ends up going backwards. Gerald Poole definitely slowing down just a little bit. He is trying to make sure he runs a consistent lap. Doesn't have to push it. He's got a 25-second lead. Pushing it too hard might have an incident, have some sort of problem, and end the race for him. Smart driving by Gerald. Bradley Berry currently in second place, 25 seconds back and gaining. And look there, Joe Campbell in third place, now 7.9 seconds back. Let's hop in his cockpit again, and you can actually see there is Bradley Berry. Not the car in front of him, the one that was just ahead. We'll see if we can see him when he gets to the front straightaway. He can see second place again. As he comes out of turn 4, we might be able to see it. The second car up there crossing the start-finish line, that's second place Bradley Berry. Joe Campbell is coming, and coming quickly. Last time by, Joe Campbell was over a second faster than Bradley Berry, over 2 seconds faster than Gerald Thanos Poole. Gerald's lead, as he plays it safe, about 24.3 seconds. Bradley Berry was exactly 1 second faster last time than Gerald Poole. And Joe Campbell was a second faster than him. Bradley Berry currently running in second place, and he might want to start worrying, as Joe Campbell is about to catch up to Kevin Bruner. The way we've seen him drive, he will use the draft off of that lapped car, pass him at the optimal place, and pick up quite a bit of time here. And you can see Joe Campbell is braking much, much later than he was earlier in the race as he gets down in the bus stop. He is definitely trying to make something happen here. Somebody might need to check Joe Campbell's car post-race for steroids. Kevin Bruner moves over, lets Campbell by. Now the gap to second place is just over 6 seconds. And Joe Campbell Bradley Berry in second place is now down to 22 seconds behind Gerald Poole. 7 laps to go for the 3 lead cars. Joe Campbell was on pit road for that green flag pit stop 29 seconds longer than Bradley Berry, and over 30 seconds longer than Gerald Thanos Poole. Obviously, Gerald Poole did not take tires on that stop. Everybody else appears to have. Bradley Berry definitely took tires. That's why he is making up a lot of time here. He is a second and a half a lap faster than Gerald Poole now. But Joe Campbell, despite that deficit, is running some of the fastest laps. He is running the fastest laps on the track right now. Kevin Bruner in the BMW in fourth. Sean Andrews, he is out of the race. He is in fifth, still on pit road. Oh! Bradley Berry has gone around. Looked like he had gone around in the bus stop. Joe Campbell now to second. Just gets into it too deep. Gets into the grass. Manages to save it. Car does not get into anything. But there you see Joe Campbell go back by for second place. And we knew Joe Campbell was gaining on Bradley Berry. We're looking forward to seeing if he could catch him and how that battle would go. But now he is 28 seconds back from Gerald Thanos Poole. With 6 laps to go, I don't think he can make up that much ground, but you know what? He's pulled off some impressive feats here tonight. DJ, do you deliver coffee? I'm just saying. All right, Gerald Poole way out front now. Joe Campbell in second. The gap 28 seconds last time they went by the start-finish line. Actually, a little over 28 seconds. But last time by, Joe Campbell almost a second and a half faster than Gerald Poole. And it will be interesting to watch this gap continue to shrink. Gerald Poole going into turn 1 right now. Joe Campbell coming through 3 and 4. Last time by, Gerald ran a 1:58.58. Let's see what Joe has this time. That time by, Joe Campbell ran a 1:56.76, almost 2 seconds faster than Gerald Poole again. DJ, as long as it's not pumpkin spice. I was threatened with that the other day. 5 laps to go for Thanos. Bradley Berry in third place, now 10.5 seconds back from Joe Campbell. Bruner now a lap down in fourth. Joe Campbell. Oh, Joe Campbell has off track. That's the first significant problem we've seen him have tonight. We've seen him struggle just a little bit, and it looks like he just clips inside, pushing the car to the absolute limit. He clipped the inside of the horseshoe, went wide, clipped the outside, got grass on both sides of it, and just had to catch the car through the grass, back going, but all the ground he had made up, just a substantial amount of it just disappeared. And Gerald Poole, as he crosses the start-finish line with 4 laps to go, can take a sigh of relief here. The gap now from Gerald Poole to Joe Campbell is 29.2 seconds. Bradley Berry's now back within 7.7 seconds of Joe Campbell. Could he catch up at the next 4 laps? We've seen Joe Campbell go this whole race with only one mistake. We saw him get loose trying to get up onto NASCAR 1 twice, and then the incident a lap ago. If he doesn't have any more mistakes, Bradley Berry can't catch him. But if he has even the slightest mistake now, Bradley Berry still has a chance for second place. Does Joe take it any easier this time? A little bit wider swing on entry. He does not clip the inside. Keeps the car straight and gets up off there. Does look like he took it a little bit easier. Did not swing as wide. Didn't get back on the gas as hard. The gap now 27.88 seconds, and Joe Campbell has started to pull away from Bradley Berry again, but Bradley Berry has Kevin Bruner right in front of him. He'll get a little draft help. The BMW being a little bit taller and a hair wider has helped all the Porsches when they've got in its draft tonight. But Bruner has been making sure he stays out of the way of the lead lap cars, being an excellent sport here tonight, and making sure he does not impact the lead race. There he goes to the high side again, letting Bradley Berry have the bottom line. Bradley gets a little draft through 3 and 4, goes on by, but did not gain any time. He actually lost over a second to Joe Campbell. 3 laps to go for Thanos. And that is the point where all the Porsches have struggled at one point or another tonight, getting back up onto the track. The BMW the BMW did have an incident there, I believe, on the second lap. So everybody has struggled through that one section, getting back onto NASCAR 1. Joe Campbell continues to march forward. He's been 2 seconds a lap faster than Gerald Poole the last 4 or 5 laps since his incident. But with less than 3 laps to go, it's not enough time. It's just a question of how much time he can make up now. Gerald Poole coming out of NASCAR 4 back down to the stripe. He'll have popsicle sticks in the air. It's 2 laps to go for Gerald Thanos Poole. Must remember to ask him if he was snapping and causing people to spin, or if he is the one that was throwing the banana peels out. And Bradley Berry had another incident. Early in this race, Bradley Berry was in contention. And, through the bus stop. Into that outside tire wall. He gets the car going straight, but he lost a ton of time. Bradley Berry was fast in practice. Obviously something wrong with the car right now. He's having to limp it back, it looks like, to pit road. Let's hop in the car, see if he... Yeah, you can see the damage to that car, and you can hear he can't get it up to speed. He might still hold on to 3rd place if he can get to pit road, get the car repaired, and get back out quickly. Gerald Poole, though, he's going to come around and take the white flag here from Daytona. Joe Campbell in second has gained quite a bit of time. He is now has closed down to 23 seconds on the leader. Not enough time to make it up, but it just tells you how fast Joe is. Gerald Poole has taken the white flag one more time around the 3.54 mile track. Down into the International Horseshoe for the last time. Gerald led the first 5 laps, then had an ongoing battle with several drivers, Bradley Berry included. Joe Campbell caught up right before the competition caution came out. After the caution, Gerald Poole stayed right on the back bumper of Joe Campbell as they turned blistering laps until Joe made a mistake and dropped all the way back to third place, and Gerald Poole ever since has continued to pull away. Now a 22-second lead as he heads down to the bus stop for the last time. And Kevin Bruner has actually moved up to third. This battle is for third place, and they are a second apart. This might get interesting. Bruner in front in the BMW. Bradley Berry in the Porsche. This could get really good here in a minute. As Gerald Poole, it comes out of turn 4. He is going to take the checkered flag and win. Joe Campbell will come home second. The battle between Bruner and Bradley Berry, though, they are just a half a second apart. Through NASCAR 1 and 2. Bradley Berry in the draft. Will Bruner try and break the draft as they come down to the bus stop? Bradley Berry sends it into the bus stop hard. He's got just a couple of turns left to make something happen. Off of the bus stop. Down through 3 and 4 they go. Can Bradley Berry make something happen here? Bruner has a power advantage and has been the fastest on the high bank portions of the track. Bradley Berry staying right in his tire tracks, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And Kevin Bruner comes home in third place. Joe Campbell is second, and Gerald Thanos Poole finally gets the win here in the series. His first win in the John Paul Jr. charity event. Hey, Gerald, it's Doug. You got me?
10-4, sir.
Hey, man, congratulations. That was a heck of a battle after the caution, but you ended up coming out on top.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't sure what I was going to be able to do with Joe. He was ahead of me. I was going to take a chance on the pit stop and all that stuff. But, he ended up, I guess, got caught speeding there. And, daggone, we were able to sneak one out.
Well, it was definitely an impressive run. I know Joe was coming quickly, but you managed to, it looked like you were just maintaining a consistent lap time all the way around. However much they gained didn't seem to bother you. You just kind of kept your pace and didn't worry too much about it.
Yeah, I mean, once I got out after the pit stop, of course, it's a little tough if you're driving around and don't have somebody to sort of gauge yourself on. But I was watching the relative, and I knew I had I was in a pretty good position just to kind of maintain. And so, that's what I did. Just hang on and make your paces and hit your spots and get to the end. And man, I was able to do it, and one of the great paint jobs, so really glad for that. I mean, one of the things I was going to say was just as a part of, since I got a button box there before, I was going to push the prizes down, so second place and third and fourth will get the prizes for this race, so we can take care of all that. But no, thank everybody for coming out, man. It's a great Huntington's disease. John Paul Jr., if you get a chance, check out www.johnpauljrhd.com. You'll get some great information. Look into it if you get a chance, and have the ability to drop them a donation. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. And again, thanks to everybody for coming out tonight. So.
Well, awesome, man. Congratulations. It's good to see you get the win here tonight, and go celebrate, buddy.
10-4, that's what we're going to do.
All right, Joe Campbell has joined us in the booth, and Joe, I have to ask, before that pit stop, was anybody going to get past you?
I was hoping not, but you know, I come down pit road and paying attention, trying to set my stop up, and 3 miles an hour over, and they said, no, sir, 40-second hold.
I have to ask, it seemed like after the incident on lap 1, you just laid down some blistering laps, and then here at the end of this run, you were laying down laps consistently 2 seconds a lap faster than anybody else. So the important question here is, do you have an endurance team, and if not, would you like to be a part of mine?
I do not, sir. To be honest with you, this is the first time I've ever drove these cars. Just picked them up this week just to run this, and I'm loving it. So there's a very good possibility that I would have a very strong interest in that.
That is awesome. Well, you definitely have a great skill for road racing, Urser, man. It was really entertaining to see how much ground you could gain tonight.
Well, thank you, Doug. I appreciate it.
Well, congratulations, man. A heck of a run. And Gerald did say he's pushing the prizes down, so you get a button box tonight as well.
Yes, that just made my week.
All right, man. Shoot me your info, and we're getting all the prizes shipped out in the next day or so.
All right, I will get that right over to you, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, buddy. Congrats. Bradley Berry, what a difficult night, but you stuck with it, man.
Oh man, let me tell you, I knew I might have had out of 5 cars, I might have had a top 5 car, but yeah, there was no catching Gerald or I can't think of his name. He was just on there with you,
Joe.
There was no catching Joe. And when he came out of pits after his 40-second hold, it was like, where did he come from? He passed by me. Then I overshot the chicane, went in way too hot, cut the grass a little bit, and well, there went my race. But I got a new set of pedals, so I'm trying to adjust to them, and I think that's what's killing me.
It could be, but I bet down the line those pedals probably going to help quite a bit. And your fast lap times were on competition with everybody but Joe tonight. I mean, you were very, very consistent and quite quick.
Oh, right. Well, I was trying my hardest. That's a hard track. If you lose one focus on one spot, and next thing you know, you I don't know. See, I'm still trying to think of the next turn coming up.
Yeah, I'm the same way, buddy. I understand. Well, congratulations, man, and I will get with you, get you some prizes shipped out as well, buddy.
Sweet. Thank you, sir. Enjoyed it. Had a blast, and yeah, like Gerald said, go check out the John Paul Jr. Foundation.
All right, man.
Give him a donation if you can.
All right, man. Congrats, buddy.
Yes, sir. Bye.
All right, that is it for tonight. Don't forget the next couple nights will be in-car. If you're on iRacing, check out the HTSAI Friday Fun League. You can come goof off and run some races with us tomorrow night. Then I'll be in-car tomorrow night with the Tyler Daniels Racing Grudge Match. Saturday night will be BRR Cup and GTE, and then Sunday night we're back broadcasting with the BRR Cup Series and the Fast and Fun ARCA Series. A lot of great racing to come, and the rest of the week, as always, a lot of great broadcasts as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you to everybody who donated as part of this 3-week series. This has been an awesome event. We've raised a lot of money for a great cause. If you can donate, you can always go to their website, find the GoFundMe, and help them out. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all had as much fun as we did over these 3 races, and thank you all so much.